Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How do you understand that your ego is taking you over, and then how do you control it?
First, you have to find, if you are sick, number one, if you are sick physically, you must know that you are sick. Even if you have a sickness that is so hidden and you don't know, some sign must tell you physically that you are not well. What do you do when you're not well? Intelligence will say, if I'm not well, I'm going to see a doctor. Finish. Isn't it? Does the intelligence now say, I'm not well, let me read tons of books? Does the intelligence now say, I'm not well, let me just Google? Maybe some people do that. But at the end of the day, you are sick, you're going to see a doctor. You say, I don't feel good. First, you have to have the signs. You must feel it. Everyone who's sick, he must feel. Even if it's something, some way, somehow that is hidden, it must come out. It must manifest. Because the balance is off. He's going to see a doctor. He's going to follow a doctor. He's going to submit himself to the doctor. Not to sit there and question the doctor. Where are you from, doctor? Why are you saying this, doctor? Why are you that one? You give this medicine and me you're giving this medicine, doctor. I don't like the way you dress, doctor. No, he's not going to, is it? He submits himself. Even if the doctor just scribbles something and he can't even read it, he says this one is powerful. And so, how do you know that your ego? First, if you understand what the ego is, what is the ego? What is the ego? The ego is that part of you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created that is declaring lordship. The ego that says you are you and I am me. The ego that is friends with shaitan. The ego that is friends with the dunya, what this world has to offer, the pleasures of this world. The ego that says I have a right to be angry whenever I want. I have a right to be arrogant whenever I want. I have the right to be stubborn whenever I want. And I have a right to be envious. The ego that says, I exist, no one else. I have to be satisfied. I am the Lord. That is the ego. Do you understand what the ego is? If you understand that, and you understand, you will then understand how it takes over you. You're getting more sick. The ego will give you a spiritual sickness. If you know that the ego has overtaken you and you have no control over your anger, your envy, your arrogance and your stubbornness, when it says himself right all the time, no one else, when it says everything must revolve around me, if you understand that you are sick, then you're going to look for a spiritual doctor. Talibul Qulub, the doctor of the heart. You're going to look for a shaykh. You're going to look for a murshid. You're going to look for that one who is a specialist in pulling things out from you and giving you a medicine for you to get rid of that ego, for you to ride on that ego, for you to make that ego, a disobedient ego, into an obedient ego. First, you have to acknowledge that you're sick. Spiritually, yes. Spiritually, everyone is sick. Then you have to find a shaykh, and you have to submit yourself to the shaykh. The way that you submit yourself to a doctor, you have to submit yourself to that shaykh. And that shaykh will then use the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to him through the Prophet ﷺ and through an unbroken lineage to be able to cure you. That shaykh must transform you. That shaykh must make you to understand yourself. That shaykh must take you out from jahiliyyah, from ignorance into a light. If that shaykh is just there for you to sit and to make a zikr and to say a mawlud and for you to feel happy and for you to feel good, that's not a shaykh. The way that the shaykh should be, which is to transform the nafs amara to nafs mutma'in. Because for a shaykh to make that transformation on you, he must knock you wall to wall. He must make you to step. Maybe he is going to step on your ego. He must scrub you. He must clean you. He must remove the rust. Not for you to just say Allah, 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 and then in ghaflat, and then to be the most selfish and arrogant and ignorant individual. No. The shaykh must make you to understand, make you to realize, make you to believe, like what our Shaykh Effendi is saying, what the awliya Allah they are saying. You must look to your ego, that your ego is worse than shaitan, worse than Firaun, and worse than Namrud. If the Shaykh does that to you and make you understand that your ego, that you, inside of you, that you are worse than shaitan, worse than Firaun, and worse than Namrud, stay with that one. If that one knocks you wall to wall and scrubs you, stay with that one. If that one just praises you and makes you to feel good and nothing is nothing, then run away from him. That one is always praising you, run away from him. So inshallah Rahman, that is key. The way that the Holy Prophet ﷺ came to transform the Sahaba Kiram and the whole world, to take them out from Jahiliyyah, from ignorance, and to bring them light and knowledge and understanding about themselves and their Lord, to make them to fulfill the promise that they made to their Lord, to fulfill the intention, our purpose of living, which is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. We have created the ins and the jinns, the mans and the jinns, to know us and to worship us. To know Allah and to worship Allah. First you have to know Allah, then you can be able to worship Him. You cannot worship Him without knowing Him. Knowing Him is not just by saying Allah, 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 Allah. In another hadith, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, he who knows himself knows his Lord. So the whole key is knowing yourself. Knowing yourself, you don't have the key to yourself. You don't have the key to yourself. The key is with the Shaykh, because he has been appointed for you from pre-eternity. Just as everyone belongs to the Holy Prophet ﷺ from pre-eternity. And Holy Prophet ﷺ is the one with the key of everyone. And he has given those keys to those ones who are representing him. And those ones who are representing him, they have the keys, and they have the key for you to, for your reality to be unlocked. The reality can be unlocked only if you get rid of your ego. Through the training and through the method of that Shaykh. Alhamdulillah, our Shaykh's training is still continuing. It's touching everyone, and we are very fortunate for him, and his power is showing that even with his veiling, more people are coming to our way from all over the world, and they're just seeing and watching and understanding, and more a light is reaching to them. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Astaghfirullah Lazim wa atubu ilayh. Inshallah Rahman, we hold on to this way strongly, the Siratul Mustaqim, and not to deviate. For the sake of our Shaykh, Al-Fatiha. Have it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good night. Inshallah Rahman, I will see you again. Saturday is the 100th day Mawlid of our Shaykh. We are making it officially that day. It's actually a couple of days before, but it doesn't matter. Shaykh and his Sunnat also, that's the best time for everyone to gather together. We're making intention for that day to have a zikr and to recite a couple of things to the Mawlid for his sake for 100 days. And may the blessings reach to our Shaykh to raise his station higher and reach to us, inshallah. If Allah gives us life, we'll see you Saturday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good night. Alright. Anything else anyone has to say?